Now in its 9th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, this is Alex and this is the Ramble. We're here until midnight tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, he's back again.
It's almost as if we just did this.
Yes, it's almost as if we just did this. You have to wear glasses now. I can't see that well. I'm just like, God, I'm getting to be. Do I look like an old man?
You have since I've known you.
Oh boy, you know, that was a great thing. For 9 years, when I needed self-esteem, I relied on Albert.
Aren't you?
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yes. Your wife, you say, may come home any moment. There may be noise in your house, but we don't care.
No, she's home, but she's in the back of the house there, and she's coming back in. So.
Oh, okay. Well,
just warning you.
Yeah. Well, we just had an hour talk. That's all. You know. But anyway, last time we were talking about Elon Musk. We were talking about AI. We were talking about, the future of AI. And I think I left it off by
the way, let me just say, I don't like the term AI. I don't think there's such a thing as artificial intelligence. Intelligence is intelligence.
Yeah, it
can be manufactured or human. I call it manufactured intelligence.
Well, if it's artificial, then it would seem artificial. And what they're trying to do is to do something that doesn't seem artificial.
Right.
In other words, you get a call from somebody, robocall, and the person sounds absolutely human to you.
Right.
And is talking to you, and it's AI. Then that's not artificial.
I don't think so either. I think manufactured, but it's not artificial.
But I mean, what they do is it's this whole science fiction thing. It's gone on over the years. Robots take over the world. Colossus, the Forbin Project. How
many times have we heard the Turing test? If it can pass the Turing test, the Turing test.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything's passing the Turing test now. So what's the big deal?
Yeah, but anyway, it just doesn't. I'm not afraid of it, but what I am afraid of is I think that. And I told you that I'm beginning to hate computers. And the reason I'm hating them is because the world they've given us, because remember, computers were created by human beings and they have an agenda.
Up until they're not.
Yeah, but they have an agenda, right? The human beings.
Yeah.
And so they are using computers for all the wrong stuff. I mean, if you say what wrong stuff, anytime you get a robocall, that's a computer.
Yeah.
Okay. Anytime you suddenly realize there's $1,000 missing from your bank account because somebody got your password and used it, that's computers. Because the world relies too much on computers now. If all the computers in the world shut down, we wouldn't know what to do. But when I was born and grew up, especially as a child between the ages of 0 and 10, there were no computers. We got along just fine without them.
That's right.
But we wouldn't know what to do now. You
just have have you ever gone into a convenience store where their system wasn't working? System is down.
Yeah. And they don't know what to do.
No credit cards. Can't take credit cards. Well, who has cash now?
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Do you know?
Just lock the door.
When you bring that up, I got to tell you, I put $200 cash in my pocket. So I'm walking around with some walk-around cash.
Right.
Do you know how much of that have you used in the last month?
Probably none.
Nothing.
There's no need for it.
Nothing. Everything goes on a credit card. Everything I pay with my Apple Pay or whatever,
Yeah. Until the system goes down.
Yeah, but if the system goes down, well, how do I get money? How do I pay myself? How do I have? That's why I keep $200 in my pocket, just in case that happens.
Well, it is what I've said for a while now, particularly after 9/11. I said, if you want to terrorize anyone, don't use bombs, don't use things like that. Shut down the banking network. That's all you have to do to start.
Yeah.
Shut down the whole computer network, and then turn all the electricity off, and people will go crazy. Literally, they will go
I
crazy.
think the society, if all the electricity went, let's say all the computers went, and therefore the electricity would go with it because they're operating the computers,
Right.
or the computers are operating them,
Right.
and that all went. How many people would die as a result of it?
Probably a good number.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you think COVID was terrible?
Yeah.
You know, so the fact that we rely this much on computers should make us stop and think for a second and say, and then we're worried about AI?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, well, yeah, you're worried about AI because, quite frankly, you're relying on those computers too much. Rather than use them as an aid, as something to help you, you are just throwing the whole task at the computers and saying, the computers are going to do it for us. And then you back away. No, you've got to have your finger on the button at all times. And
You're right about
And you
that.
have to have a system in place where if all the computers go down, you don't.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But we
Just think about if just if the cell towers went down, all the mothers in the country that had to actually deal with their children and not have them on iPads or phones or things like that at the time for those who use them, and a lot of them do. Think about the craziness that would put the parents through.
Oh, there are kids who are like 2 years old that have an iPad.
Yes, I know that.
iPad. Yeah.
I know that.
You know, I just the world has changed so much since I was a kid. I mean, and admittedly, when I was a kid was a long time ago.
That's
now.
an old man thinking phrase.
Well,
right
yeah,
there.
but
there's nothing wrong with that.
it was a simple world. There was, there were very little things electronically that could ruin our life if they suddenly stopped working. Okay.
Remember books?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Remember books? I still have some.
So does Marjorie.
Oh.
But you know what? I got her years ago. We got an iPad, and I said, just try the Kindle. Oh, I bought her a Kindle. Remember when you could buy the Kindle? Okay?
Yeah.
I bought her a Kindle, and she says, I don't know if I can get used to this. Now that's where she reads all her books. Now,
Well,
admittedly,
I do it on my thing too.
admittedly,
On my phone.
admittedly, the positive there is you're not ruining the ecology. You aren't tearing down
Right.
tons of trees and so on to make the books. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a good thing. Because they made it so that when you're reading on your iPad, you flip the page. You have the same kind of feel that you have in reading a book. So, I mean, the delivery system should never be blamed as being bad. But,
I agree.
But the thing is that we just, the thing that I'm down about computers is I wish they didn't exist. I honestly think we would be a better world if they didn't exist. You wouldn't have problems with elections, and you wouldn't have the social.
You wouldn't have problems with elections.
Excuse me,
Absolutely.
social media. Let's talk about that for a second. I mean, you say that there's no such thing as AI. There's no such thing as social media.
I can't talk to that because I'm not on any of it. So I really don't know how bad it is.
Well, I don't use Twitter, but I do rely on Facebook to let my audience know what's happening tonight on the show. Okay, that's all I use it for. I at one point I was posting my random thoughts, and I never, by the way, ever posted picture of food that I was having for dinner. By the way, when you do that, you should have all your computer privileges taken away from you.
Ever had a picture of your poop in the toilet on
No,
Facebook?
I never did that either. But
Look at my phlegm. Can you tell me what my problem is? None of that?
yeah, right. So, but I mean, I just think that we never used computers for the best stuff. Okay, and for the stuff it could really do to improve the human race, we've only done it, robocalls. Okay, that's the biggest invention of the 21st century so far.
Yeah, I feel the same way as you do, but there's nothing you can do about it. And
No, you're not going to stop
going
it.
back.
Yeah.
There's no going back unless what I spoke about. Did I speak about it in the last episode or this episode about if somebody were to take down the whole system,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we'd be back in the old days.
Well, that's all they have to do.
Which
That's,
is manageable.
that's-
Oh, they will. They will at some point. Somebody will. There's no question about
the
it.
Russians have been working on it for years.
Forget about the Russians. There are individuals who say humanity is garbage, and I'm the first one who's going to. And we talked about the
Oh.
chat. They have chaos GPT.
There's some little genius living in his parents' basement.
Well, Dad, don't berate the people living in their parents' basement, please. That's not nice.
Okay, but they're living in their parents' basement anyway.
Probably are.
Yeah. And they alone could take down the entire system.
If they have the Elon Muskian way about them, yes, they probably could figure a way to do that. And we could get along fine without it, and we'd build up again. But this is the way of the world.
But if that all stopped, how many people would die as a result of it? I mean, do you think there's a hospital in this country that doesn't operate on computers now?
Oh, no.
You know?
Not at all. But that's the way it is. Hey, listen, it's going to change everything. You've said you had you went to a program that can do announcements that sound almost as good.
Somebody sent me to a place. Maybe was it you that sent it to me? That place you can go.
Yes,
I
did.
There's a company in radio now that will supply you with an AI programming.
Right. You just write the script, or you don't even have to write the script.
It writes the scripts for you, and it announces. It has lifelike announcers.
And my point to bringing this up in the last episode was simply to say that this will be the way that information is delivered in the future.
I just found out something good about computers. It may do away with talk show hosts and disc jockeys.
Well, that's exactly what I was
That's
saying.
a positive.
I'm going to tell you that will happen. There's no doubt about it.
I don't think that any AI could be more mediocre than most radio people in this country.
Regardless, and they will probably come to a point where they'll be very acceptable and very believable. Mm-hmm. But the thing I wanted to say is that you are one of the most fortunate people, because you were able to do something that you are very, very good at, that very few people could do, that is an art, and you were able to do it your whole life long and do it well.
You're right. I mean, I thought about that the other night, and I just went, I really can't gripe about my life. I've been very lucky.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. As have I.
And I don't have the kind of popularity a Howard Stern has or a Joe Rogan has, but my career has been pretty solid. I mean, it stopped about 10 years ago being that solid, but I took a chance on coming to New York. I managed to get a job for 9 years at Sirius XM. I thought about all the other jobs I got, that were like my whole history in San Francisco was very successful, and I can't gripe about any of it.
Well, it is now the end of May,
mm-hmm.
right, 2023. Mm-hmm. Let us reconvene in 2033.
Well, I don't know if I'll be around for that.
Oh, yes, you will.
But you can get on with it without me.
No, when you're here in 2033, we will take this topic and revisit it.
Oh, 2033, I'd be 93. And
so what?
I could make it.
You're still going to have back pains. We know that. But I'll
be in a wheelchair by then. I'm sure.
It doesn't matter. You'll still be doing this show. In whatever way it is in the future. Maybe.
Listen, Marjorie and I do this little thing where we go to the park and we talk for 5 minutes and then we tongue kiss each other and that's it. Okay? That thing gets more people watching it than anything else I do.
Did I get a link to that?
It's on my Facebook page.
No, don't send me that link. Don't send me that link.
Okay,
no.
We always call it old people kissing. That's our whole premise for the show.
You probably get great reviews. Do you have it on YouTube?
Yeah, I put it up on YouTube.
Make it a separate channel. Make it its own channel. A different episode each time.
Or I should make an old people kissing channel and have people send me their tapes. They're files, rather, tapes.
There you go.
Files.
There you go.
They're files.
That's all you need.
And then I have a whole page of old people kissing.
That's it. What? How long is this segment that you do?
Oh, sometimes it's 2 minutes, and sometimes it's 7 minutes. You know,
that's perfect. If 7 is a bit too long.
Yeah.
But if 2 to 3 minutes, that's a channel. That's a big channel.
Yeah.
And if you put it up, I want at least 10% just for telling you to put that up.
Yeah. Okay. You get. I'll give you 10%.
10% of nothing.
10%. Yeah.
Buddha.
10% of nothing so far is zilcho.
I got my 10% already. Perfect.
But anyway, this is not the world. I mean, when I was hot into computers and saw the future of them, the future I didn't see was where they can take anything and just spoil it. Just use it for all the wrong purposes.
And what did you think was going to happen? What did you think humans were going to do? Create a utopian society where everybody lives
I thought it would. Let me put it this way. I thought we would want
humans in your lifetime.
What?
Have you known any humans in your lifetime? This is what we do. We spoil things.
Yeah, well, I mean, we absolutely spoiled the whole computer revolution. We used it all for the wrong purposes. And I use the robocall as a perfect example because I think that's the most annoying example of something we all have to deal with. But that's all because of the computer generation, because of computers. You didn't have robocalls even 20 years ago.
So tell me what was your thought of what the computer would do for us? What was going to happen?
I thought it would democratize a lot of things. I think the fact that people can do a show like this, okay, and put it out over YouTube is kind of a democratizing of broadcasting. We don't have to go get a license for it. We don't have to spend a fortune to build a studio, whatever. It can just be done very simply, and it democratizes broadcasting. The only thing is, what kind of broadcasting got democratized with podcasting? Now we have the latest story in this murder mystery. One murder mystery after another. Or misinformation. It created more misinformation than it did information.
But misinformation's been around as long as humanity.
Yeah, but you couldn't spread it as fast.
Well, that's true.
Marjorie goes, "Isn't this a horrible world we're living in?" I said, if you watch MSNBC all the time, yes. Because all the news organizations, they have 24/7 to fill up with stuff, and the only stuff that really leads is if it bleeds. And so you look at that constantly, which she does, you're going to think the world's going to hell in a handbasket. They don't. Well,
that's why people think the world is a bad place, is because we're exposed to more of the bad things.
Well, I mean,
but it's actually not as bad a place as it was 100 years ago.
I mean, everything that happens where somebody gets killed in the subways or whatever, there's a video of it now.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they show that, and they don't show it just once. They show it over and over and over.
And what do you call that? Breaking news.
They call that the news cycle.
It's breaking news.
It's breaking news.
I saw something the other day. Not only was it breaking news, but it was a special edition of whatever thing it was.
Of breaking news.
Of the regular show that it was. Breaking news. Oh.
I'd like to have one little thing on the bottom that said breaking wind.
Breaking wind, right.
Breaking wind. But anyways, I mean, probably what I'm disappointed in is not computers. I shouldn't blame computers. I blame the people who utilize them and then utilize them for all the wrong reasons.
That's what I said. It's not the computers, it's the humans.
Yeah, so we want the world taken over by computers? I mean, could computers rule the world? I mean, if they could. I mean, eventually they can. There's no question about it.
And they rule the world?
Yeah.
Well, I think that they probably could have...
One computer talks to another computer, like the Forbin, Colossus, the Forbin Project. You remember that movie?
Yeah. Well, it's been predicted for decades now that machines will build more machines that are better and smarter than the ones that built them.
I think they have some computers now that can actually fix themselves.
And why not? Why not? And what will happen? The machines won't take over the earth. the humans will die away because they can't compete with that.
But
what are the machines going to want?
But the reliance on computers. I mean, yesterday I was doing an interview with Steve Kravitz,
Mm-hmm.
and I started, and he didn't have any audio. And I tried everything. I tried getting everything going that he could to get him up and running, and it wouldn't work. And then he says, well, they say there's an update to my Windows. So I said, okay, well, update it. And he updated it, and we got his audio.
There it is.
But we spent a half hour trying to get his audio. That computer should have been able to fix itself.
Well, that will come. That will come.
And I imagine it would have if he told the computer, like, upgrade me anytime there's an upgrade.
Well, but mine tells me every time there's an upgrade.
Well, yeah, but
you want to start now, or do you want to do it later?
Yeah.
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 And down the road, it'll do it on its own in the background. Look how far we've come in computers. Remember when you used to have to fix all the little parts of the hard drive because there would be sectors that were bad, and you had to run that once a month.
I never heard of that lately. You never hear that anymore.
You don't hear about it at all.
Oh, by the way, you don't hear about hard drives.
No, you have solid state now.
Yeah.
Which is the way it's supposed to be anyway.
Well, yeah.
How did we get to hard drives to start with? I don't know.
Yeah, well, this machine I have here, the new one I got, is solid state all the way through. And it boots up in where an average Apple took 45 seconds to boot, right? This thing boots up in, I would say, I timed it once, it was like 10 seconds.
I say, for the future of humanity, beware for two things. One is when we have earphones that go in your ear, not biological, earphones that are completely waterproof. That's one. We've made a huge stride. And the second one is when we have a computer or a TV system or something where there's no circle. When that happens, we've reached apex.
Well, you're talking about the beach ball of death.
Yes.
Part of that is, in case people don't know, is that your machine is looking for the hard drive, or it's looking for something. And the less memory you have, the more often you get that. I very seldom get the beach ball of death on this computer.
But your TV, it still happens.
Oh, yeah.
Searching for Wi-Fi
and guess what?
signal.
When your TV, tell me this, folks, if this isn't true, when your TV isn't working, who's the first person you blame?
The cable company.
No, yourself. Must be something I did. And then when you eliminate that, you figure it's the cable system. You should always think it's the cable system first.
I never blame myself.
Oh, I do.
I think it's.
But I'm Jewish.
I'm always Jewish. The connection. Something with the connection.
I'm Jewish, and we by birth are told to blame ourselves for everything.
Okay.
Right. But I mean, I just think that we've got to reassess how we use the technology. And I think the biggest problem with the technology isn't AI, it's people.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And their desire to make a buck, that's for starters. I mean, I remember when my business manager got his first computer, which actually I kind of encouraged the whole thing. We both got IBMs. And I taught him, I showed him something on an Atari, believe it or not, a copy of VisiCalc, which was the first accounting software, where before you used to, as an accountant like he was, you do a spreadsheet. And you'd have all these numbers down, then you had to add them all up. Well, what VisiCalc does, you put all the numbers in, and then it all adds it up for you. He was so overwhelmed by that. Next day, he was out buying us computers. He got me. I bought one, and he bought one. All of a sudden, he found he could do his work faster. And what did he do when he had it faster? He just added more clients. He didn't
more money.
He didn't lessen the workload. He enhanced the workload because he could do more of it in a shorter amount of time. Well, what we shouldn't say is how can we do this faster and make more money out of it, but how can we better use it and not try to push it. Not to increase the volume, but to increase the accuracy, and things like that. So, I mean, the problem is computers were a great idea. Human beings operating them weren't.
Nothing we can do about that.
Yeah.
But the next time we get together, another thing we might, which you just touched on, we might talk about is this this human need to get more and more money and things, which I think creates great problems in society.
Oh, I think it does too.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we've run out of time. I really, I stick around after we're through here. I really, I enjoy this, and this is better than the other stuff I do because you and I are actually talking about stuff.
That's what I want to do.
Want a show?
No, not yet.
Hey, we're handing out shows like they're candy at a party.
I have YouTube channels coming up my butt. So I mean, how many? You don't need to do that.
Yeah, don't need to do that. Hey, listen, I love talking with you. Let's do it again, okay?
So let's do it.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Albert Reynoso. Thanks, Albert.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Now in its 9th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, hello everybody. How are you? What's happening? How you doing? What's new? Oh boy, I'm trying to, when I take a couple of days off, I have to then come in and recalibrate everything and get everything going just right here. Let me just get all these things going here. Anyway, hello, how are you? How was your weekend? How was your Monday? How was your Tuesday? By the way, how's most of your Wednesday? Okay, good. All right. Anyway, I'm here and I'm ready to go, I guess. I just am always tired, and I think it has a lot to do with having had the COVID, but I'm awake enough to take care of this. Okay, so let's just see what happens here. Let me see here. Let me bring some of these people in here. I will admit all, and then I will also do this. So that, okay, there they are. They're coming in. There's Charlie, and there's Brian, and there's Jeff. Oh, okay. Gee, hardly anybody here. Well, what the hell? Screw them all.
All right, see what happened? Now Jeff just left. Nice job, Alex. Thanks a lot. Jeff was very offended.
He
hung up.
He was offended by what?
You saying, well, there are some people here.
Well, there are some people here. No, he probably had some problem with audio or something like that, so he just thought by rebooting, he'll be back. He always.
Well, if I have problems with my computer, it is definitely not my fault because I didn't change anything.
Well, you know something? That doesn't really matter. I've actually had things change themselves.
That's what I'm saying. So somebody else made the problem.
Yeah. Look at that. You got a little dot from the sun on your forehead, and it kind of looks like you're a spy and somebody's ready to shoot you or something.
Yeah, you're in somebody's sight.
Somebody's sights, yeah. So you got look like you got a tan. Sunburn.
Yeah, I got a little color.
Got a little color? That looks like a lot of color.
Memorial Day weekend. Usually I get more. Usually I burn myself every year, but
yeah, it was Memorial Day. And none of you guys wrote me to say thank you for your service.
I told you on Monday. Thank you.
Oh yeah, you told me on Monday, but he wasn't even around on Monday to tell me.
I was too busy making sure you're good every day.
That I'm what?
That you were good every day.
That I was good every day?
Yeah, you're COVID, remember?
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh.
Speaking of COVID, I got my second bivalent booster today.
The second?
The second one, yep.
Oh, wait a minute. Does that mean you've had 7 so far?
My second booster. I had the first one in October.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I've had my 6th shot total.
Yeah, I've had 6.
Okay. And look what it did for me.
Yeah. Well, I haven't had COVID yet.
Well, just hold on, I mean, it's
especially now.
Well, the thing is that we kind of said, okay, it's the president said there's no more COVID, and and by the way, if you're listening YouTube, I didn't just say that. I'm quoting the president. Okay. I'm so afraid of even talking about COVID. You know, I was the one who here with what do you call it, with Gabnet, I used to run spots every night on all the things you should do during COVID. And I was really a big proponent of getting the right messages out there and everything. And for them to then slam this thing on me, you know, because of something somebody on my show said, referring to something that Fox had said that was wrong. That was the nature of the conversation. And I said, I protested it, so they went back and had a human being listen to it. Well, they still only listened to that one quote. They didn't take it, it was taken completely out of context. And if they had listened to the whole thing, they would see that we were saying this was terrible, what Fox was doing. But now I have a strike again, not a strike against me, but a warning against me. And the next time I'll get a strike if they find something. And they had to go back to 2021 to find this thing. I mean, I hate YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm thinking seriously of paying $75 a month and paying for a feed where I don't have to worry about any of this, you know. And
don't worry, Elon Musk is going to have his Twitter video thingy going pretty soon, so you can join that.
I'll do it. Who cares, you know? If it works, and if he doesn't get as Nazi-like as YouTube. But YouTube is ridiculous. They're just ridiculous. I mean, they said, okay, now we looked at it. You can't protest it again. Well, maybe I want to write you and tell you, hey, look, you know, it was said on my show, but you didn't get it in context, because if you'd gotten it before, when the person said, did you hear what Fox did today? And then the other part about, isn't that horrible what Fox does by giving this kind of misinformation? No, they just took the misinformation and said it was my fault. I was passing bad information. Fuck you, YouTube. Oh, by the way, I just need to get demonetized.
Now you're demonetized.
I wonder if I start a thing where I start doing railing against YouTube, okay, if they will then try and take me off. You know? Let's try see what their freedom of speech is all about, you know. So anyway, hello Alan, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, Alex?
I'm fine. I had a good Memorial Day. I got all those calls from people saying thank you for your service. And you know.
This hat makes me look red. I'll live with it.
It makes you look red?
My face looks red.
It's a black hat. How does it make your face look red?
I don't know. Well, look, here I am, a red face. Take the hat off, and I go back to natural colors.
Really?
Yeah.
So anyway, we did another thing out in the park the other day. It was only about 5 minutes. And
I saw that. And you spent 5 minutes talking about the bags under your eyes.
And over 500 people have watched it so far. Yeah, right. So, you know, isn't that wonderful what happens? You know, I mean, I get over 500 people checking us out, and we only went for 5 minutes. Go figure. Wow. Go figure. So, anyway,
Am I on?
Are you okay now, Jeff?
I am now. The one problem is I don't have my assistant here.
Oh, I'll be right over.
You know, I don't know if Pamela, who's your wife,
yes. Oh yeah.
likes being referred to as your assistant.
Yeah. But I can only say that because she's not here.
Oh, if I said that about Marjorie,
they would kill her.
Yeah.
And they would talk about each other, and they would talk about us.
Yeah.
They do that.
Yeah. But Marjorie is you know what she's doing now? She's taking old lady workout lessons.
Good.
Yeah, because of her back and things like that. So she's taking these I don't know, I can't describe them, but she does it twice a week, and supposedly she's in great pain after they're over with. So they must be working. You know?
That's right.
Sounds like Phil Meyer.
Yeah.
Oh, Phil.
All his exercise programs that are leaving him in pain.
Yeah. Is he losing weight?
Yeah, right. Losing weight. He the other day he hurt his shoulder. A few weeks ago it was his ankle or his leg or who the hell knows.
Oh yeah, because working out's really good for you. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he goes to one of these things, I think, that that if you're a triathlete, you go to it to get stronger. And he likes, I don't know, it's expensive too. I don't know what it's.
Well, if it's expensive, he'll do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, this is a guy who by the end of his life isn't going to have any money because he spends it all on just buying the best thing he can buy.
His choice.
You know.
Well,
You know, I just bought a new $5,000 Nikon or something like that. And I'm going,
Yeah.
Have you tried the iPhone? I just looked at some just photographs I took at lunch the other day of Marjorie.
yeah.
The quality that an iPhone has for film, it just surpasses anything I've ever owned. And I've owned some pretty damn good cameras in my time, you know? So, I mean, but no, Phil likes to spend money. He will, I mean, I wish I had something to sell him. I'd charge him more than it's worth because he'd pay it, you know?
He makes good money and he enjoys his money. I see nothing wrong with that.
Well, he makes good money, but what you want to do, and I got news for him, you want to save that money, you know?
Yeah.
You want to put a lot of that away, and you know, I mean, I am very careful, even when I was making a lot of money, about how much money I was spending. Although the first time around, when I was in San Francisco making like the $400,000 a year and more,
Big bucks.
I used up most of it. You know, taking people out to lunch, that was my big deal. You know.
But I think the thing is, you need to have assets. So my son has a credit card now. It says he's working at 31 Flavors. We got in a little issue because he has $0 and he's been working there for a year. $0 in his account.
Yeah.
Wow.
Find out he's been spending it on his video games.
Mhm.
And so my main thing is, at the end of the month when you get your statement and it says all your money that's gone, what do you have to show for that? You know, and he has nothing. So get an asset, you know, buy something, do something with it. But
Well,
not just
you know, certainly, you know, I mean, like my friend Checky had a lot of money.
Didn't have any kids.
Didn't have any kids. You know,
Exactly.
didn't have, but he didn't have any kids, didn't have anything, but he had a lot of money. And at one point he kept telling me, well, you know, I don't know, should I take the which class should I fly to go to such and such a place? And I'm going, Shacky, look how much money you've got. Take the best, you know, if you're going on a long trip, go first class. Go what's the middle class? You know, tourist or whatever they call it these days.
Yeah.
I said,
Coach.
yeah, coach. But you know, if you just want to go just regular, because you don't want to feel guilty. I mean, don't feel guilty about it. Spend some of your money and enjoy it. You know, and I think there's a trade-off there, because if you make a lot of money, you also should spend a certain amount of it on things that are enjoyable and enjoy that money. Just don't use it all up, you know, because that's not going to do you any good either. Save something. Now, I mean, I know nothing about Phil's finances, but I bet he hasn't saved a hell of a lot, you know. So, anyway, yes, Jeff.
Well, what about Chucky? Does he have other people in his sisters and whatever? Other family?
Well, he has
that took all
family.
of his
Yes,
money?
he has family. You know.
Are they in the same area?
Are they in the same area? Well, I know his niece is in the same area. Yeah. You know, but that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about with him. I'm saying that
I know, but
when he was alive and he
ultimately
had all
somebody's
this
gonna-
money, and sometimes he would kind of, what's the word term I'm learning? Fret about spending it. And I went, hey, you're going on a nice trip. Get there in the best possible way you can. If you can afford it, do it. And you're still not going to spend all your money doing it. But there's a trade-off between how much you want to make sure you don't spend, and how much you should spend to enjoy the lucre that you've acquired, right? So it's a trade-off, and I found myself at times feeling guilty about it too, and you just shouldn't feel guilty about spending the money that you made. You should feel guilty about spending too much of the money you made, So that's all I'm saying. I mean, what did you earn it for in the first place? And in the case of Shecky, or in the case of somebody like me, I mean, we don't really have anybody to leave the money to. I mean, Marjorie, I have money to leave money to, but suppose she goes first, then I've got nobody to leave it to. So,
Me.
huh? Oh, okay. Charlie, what's your address? Give me all the information. So, I can add you
We
to.
can equally divide it, Charlie. Don't be.
Yeah. That's what everybody on the panel, you ought to split.
Yeah,
it.
we make your evening every evening. That's worth something.
Well, we have a will, and what I could do is I could probably add to the will that if Marjorie goes before I do, that and then I go, all the money that's there goes to you guys.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
But I haven't. But I'm not saying it is, okay? So don't try and sue my estate once I die and say, "Where's my money?"
We'll have YouTube go back and read it. Listen to it again.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
I think we should get points. We should get points every night we're on.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that'll get some people on the show.
Well,
Yeah.
Charlie's been here every night almost for how many years now?
Well, ever since you've been doing the show.
Okay, so it's got to be like 9 years, right?
9 years, yeah.
9 years. So, Charlie, I'm going to leave you $1.
Yes. Okay. So
Well, you
get
said I should
like,
leave you guys something.
Yeah.
I get like
every
40
dollar
or,
helps.
40 or 50 cents at least from that.
Well, I was thinking 50 cents for you and 50 cents for Adrian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just she'll enjoy it more than I will.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about kids is give them $1 and they're happy.
And I don't have to leave.
Wow, a whole $1.
Wow.
I don't have to
My kids
leave.
were happy
I don't have to
about it.
leave Alan anything because he's got a lot of money.
He's the rich. Him and Tony don't leave them
No,
a
he
dime.
invested in apartment buildings and things like that. But at the same time, let me ask you this: you've probably got more money than anybody here. I would say that. From what
Yeah, no kidding.
from what you've
I'm
told
also
me.
fatter than everybody here.
Well,
too.
that's true. You're going to die before the rest of us. So make sure we're all in your will.
How did you spell? I know how to spell your last name. I don't want to say
Jeffrey
it.
A. Stein.
You're a Facebook friend that hasn't responded to any of my posts, so you better start responding. No, I'm kidding. My Facebook crashed a couple months ago, and I haven't reactivated it. So.
But anyway, the point that I'm making here is that he has a lot of money, and yet I'll bet you don't spend a lot of it, do you? No.
Unfortunately,
He sends
not.
us gifts.
But
I send you.
yes, you do. You're very good. You're very giving.
I'm generous.
You're generous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but-
you're
but-
right. I don't spend a lot of it either.
And you probably should, because you'll still have a lot of it left. That's the point I'm making. It's that
Right.
balance between enjoying the money you have. I see these guys today. What did I see? Who bought a house? Oh yeah, it was Beyonce and Jay-Z. Bought a house. Ready? $200 million.
Ooh,
Jesus Christ.
And they already own like 5 other homes. Okay?
much.
That didn't change my face color. Oh well.
But see, I don't understand how, even if I had $1 billion, how big a house do you need? I need a few bedrooms. I need a nice big kitchen, maybe basketball court. Those type of things. If I have unlimited money, but these guys have like these huge compounds. It's like, what are you gonna do with all that?
Okay, Jeff Bezos and that whoever that slut is, he's hanging around with him. You know, and he's
What
going.
about Al Pacino?
He's going through his midlife crisis. Pacino.
Al Pacino, 83, having kids. There's still hope for
There you
you.
go, Alan.
There's still hope for you, Alex.
We just heard this today. Al Pacino, 83 years old. His girlfriend is 8 months pregnant.
And she's how old?
Oh, 29, I think.
29.
Well, if she was 80,
Oh, my God.
if she was 83 like him, that'd be pretty much a miracle, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, and also, you know who else at 79 has just had a kid?
Mm-mm.
Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's rumor that there was a sperm donor and it wasn't him.
Baby's gonna come out black.
I thought his wife was
Well, his
black.
wife is black.
Oh really?
Oh, whoops.
Okay.
Yeah.
Baby come out Asian. How's that? Okay.
Yeah, there you
In
go.
fact, so is Pacino's. So you know, it's but all I'm saying is that you know, you got to find that, I guess, that balance, you know, between, like I said to myself, how old am I? I'm 83. How old can I wind up being? Well, I could live to be 100. I've seen people at 100, and I don't know if I want to be 100, you know, but I could live to be 100. But I don't know how long I'm going to live. I could live 2 more days or 20 more years, and I don't know. So I have a certain amount of money. It's a finite amount of money. It's a fixed budget or whatever you say you're on, and it's a decent amount of money, and I'm not burning through it. But on the other hand, I keep saying, you know, maybe I should start spending some of it, you know, because God forbid I should drop dead tomorrow, and what, you know, I didn't enjoy it, so.
If you
Yeah,
knew
but
you were
you
gonna
don't-
die in a year, what would you do different?
What would I do different?
Yeah. Or would you do anything different? You just stay with us every night?
I would travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would travel. I would travel. Yeah, and keep going till I die somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, kind of like a game of roulette. You know, like where is it? We can have a contest. What country is Alex
Yeah.
going to die in? You know?
Could have a pool. Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, it's kind of like Bubbles said. You know, wouldn't it be great if you know when you were going to die, but
You knew the day, but not
the
the
day,
year.
but not the year. So every year on that day, you'd be sitting there just waiting. You know?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I just think that a lot of people hold on to their money, and they fret with every penny they spend, and they've got a ton of it, you know.
Yeah, but you don't want to run out of money and still be around.
Well, I'm not saying you should spend enough so you're going to run out of money. You just
Right.
want to start spending some of it so you're enjoying it. I mean, do you ever resent the fact that maybe, Alan, that you haven't spent some of that money on yourself doing something?
You know, all my investments, I'm making, you know, a lot of money every month, and I don't spend any of the savings.
Mhm.
You know, and so I make enough to live off of with just the investments. And
Okay,
stuff.
so you're living off that money.
Yes,
Okay.
but not the I mean, not the bank accounts and the savings. That stuff has been sitting there. I thought I was going to buy a new car, and you've seen the price of new cars.
Yeah.
By the way, I started to mention Jeff Bezos. The story I saw today was that Jeff Bezos, he has a house he's building, this mega mansion or whatever, but he's having some kind of zoning problems with it, and he can't move into it. So he's had to rent another house to live in while he's waiting for this one to be built and him being able to move into it. So he has taken a home that was owned by, I'm trying to remember who it was, some other rock guy. And it's unfurnished, by the way, but he rented a house. How much do you think he's paying a month on that house?
$100,000 a month.
Yeah, 100,000.
Well, try $600,000.
Dump
Well, he's
change.
got 200 billion. So
Yeah, really.
Well, that may be great if he has 200 billion, but still, you say to yourself, I mean, look, if you had $2 billion, would you suddenly say, ah, the hell with it, I'll rent that house for $600,000 a month? No.
Oh.
Why get somebody else real rich off of your money? And if you've got that kind of money, why can't you pay off whoever the zoning people are to let you move into your new house? So, but I think that's being a little. Yes, Jeff.
Well, I think Brian has to think about he's got 3 kids who ultimately want to go to college and whatever. Those become very expensive.
Yeah, well, that's fine to say, and he just made him cough and almost swallow his tongue when he said that.
I didn't want to get him have a heart attack, but I've got 4 grandkids who are, they need money.
If I'm getting too personal, Brian, stop me, okay? But
Stop.
two of the 3 children that are in your house are not yours.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And they're at a point where at least 1 or 2 of them are in time, and it's time to go to college, right? Are you going to take care of that? How are you and the wife working that one out?
I'm probably going to buy him a car tomorrow. It's not an expensive car, but I'm pitching in there.
Mm-hmm.
Simon's the first one. He doesn't know what he wants to do for college, so he's going to go to local, probably community college, and figure out what he wants to do. Stephanie wants to do art, so she has a couple colleges. She's only a freshman right now, but she knows. So yeah, I mean, we'll be saving up for that. But I have a lot of money stashed, but
you feel you kind of want to contribute.
Oh
to that.
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, when it comes down to it, I have some assets. I have some cars. So if something happens for me, me today, there's a lot of money in 401k that I've had forever, and then my cars. See, it's different than some people like Phil, where they don't have like a 401k program. But I've been in the electronics industry all this time, so. So every company I go to, they have 401k, and I've always put a lot of money in there. So, when it comes, I make sure everything's taken care of, and just see what we need to do.
Yeah.
Whoever gets my estate will be very well off.
Yeah. But I
know. I've talked, my little talks with Adrian, and she will be definitely set for her stuff, and she's only 7, so.
Yeah.
Well, she'll spend it on wax lips or something,
like hoochie dance lessons.
Well, let me ask again. If I get too personal on any of these questions, please stop me. Alan, you're not married.
No.
Were you married?
Almost,
no. But you're not married, so you don't have really any descendants, right?
No, well, I have
you have your mother. You have your mother.
She'll be 90 soon.
Yeah. So you want to be sure she's taken care of, but since she's 90, So let's say when she finally passes to the great beyond, let's say, and you don't have anybody to leave this to, who are you leaving this to?
Well, my grandnephew, who's very smart, college-educated 26-year-old.
Oh, okay.
They'll find somebody to give it to.
Oh, yeah.
I had an uncle that never been married, never had any kids, and so all of his nieces and nephews split the money.
Hello, Tony, are you there?
Yeah, I was shaving in the bathroom. I was doing Ancestry.com. You're never going to guess who my father is.
Robert De Niro.
Phil.
Al Pacino. This fucking guy's an asshole, really, Alex.
Oh, wait a minute. We don't have a picture from you. It says it's your eye.
Oh, you know why? You want to see I'm in the bathroom. I was going to shave. I don't know if you want to see the bathroom.
Why did you call?
Why did you
Because
call?
I had you on in the shower. I was listening to you. I had the phone on the wall. So I was listening to the first 20
Talk
minutes.
about demonetizing you. Shows up naked.
Well, turn
No,
on.
I'm not
turn
naked. I got my undershirt on.
Turn on the camera. Turn on the camera. Turn on the camera.
Hold on.
Do you have a
second.
onesie on, Tony? Do you have your Spider-Man onesie?
Hold on. Going on. I'm on my iPhone. Hold on. I had it on in the shower next to my Costco thing.
Oh,
I think
please
I
make
had the
sure there's
shower
no
on.
mirror around. Make sure no
it's
mirror
clean, man.
around.
Hold on. Can you see me?
No.
No.
Hold on.
Oh, you're
start
looking
video.
good. Turn on the
Oh, I gotta go to
lights.
settings. Hold on a second. I'm switching to my Apple phone. I got you minimized.
Tony, what is this?
Settings.
Once a week?
I mean, how is Al Pacino having kids, Alex? I almost fell in the shower when you said that.
Well, Alan said it is sperm donors.
Where's my camera here?
Which leaves
Hold
you
on
out,
a second.
Tony.
Hold on. I'm trying to see here. I'm looking at gotta get my glasses here. Settings. This fucking Apple. Everything they do has got to be like on the lock and key.
What are you using? Your iPhone?
Yeah, I mean, I had you on the iPhone, the radio, streaming it.
Well, okay. Well, what you'd have to
So I
do.
was listening to it.
What you have to do.
Maybe hold on. I'm mute. You don't want to have to hear me do this.
Call back in 30 minutes.
I'll call you back in about a minute. I get this camera
No,
working.
30 minutes. Brian's idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and Alan is very generous. He sent me when I was sick a teddy bear and everything. I have to say that he's a decent guy. I know he's gonna kill me when I visit him. And,
Hey,
I
Tony,
think it's-
I accept your calls, okay? So that my time
yeah,
is worth
Brian's
more
up there
than
too in the
fair.
pecking order.
Wait a minute. Do you accept his calls?
Yeah, my brother has to send you a check for
I need
that,
to-
Brian.
I need to stay awake on the right to Lodi, so Tony's the best thing.
Oh, I'm the wake-up call that never goes away.
An hour and a half
Not
goes
for
by
you from the
so
surface,
fast.
Alex. Oh, man. All right, hold on a second. All right,
No,
I'll call you
just
back.
take your time. 30 minutes is good.
All
Either
right.
that or I listen to his
I was
voice.
watching the
messages.
Yankees with 0-0.
Well,
too.
okay. Go
All
to
right, I'll
your
call you
other
back.
go to your other computer and do it. Jeez.
All right, bye.
You know, it's bad enough we have to see him.
He's
Yeah,
shaving
you-
at 11:30 at night.
Hmm?
He says he's shaving.
Yeah.
It's
What are you shaving?
11:30 p.m. Why would he be shaving it?
I can't shave at night. It bugs me. I sleep. I can't sleep.
I shave.
You get down to your hands at night because the coffee jitters are
I
gone.
shave once a week. Once a
Yeah.
week, yeah. I may shave this week though, because I've got to go to this memorial for Shecky on
Oh.
Saturday, which in a fashion I'm kind of dreading, because I was asked to speak, so I finally said, well, okay, how much time do I have? And they said 3 minutes. And I wrote back and I said, it's going to be really rough, condensing 45 years into 3 minutes, but I'll give it a try. And it's starting to really bother me. I mean, I've got the whole thing pretty well worked out, what I'm going to do and how I'm going to say it, because I gotta have it all figured out. It's not like I get up and I ad lib and then after about 5 minutes I go, well, that's been long enough, But every time I start thinking about it, I think about something new about him that I wanted to mention, and I can't mention it because I don't have enough time. Like, for instance, I have certain facts about Shecky that people probably did not know.
Yeah.
One of which was, and this I found wonderful because I'm cowardly and won't do it, he made it his job to try and ride all the major wooden roller coasters in America.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
And I bet there's not one person in that room that knows that.
Nope.
You know? I mean, it's just one of those little facts, you didn't know about them. So...
You did because you were a close friend.
Well, I wanted to do that. There were a whole bunch of things I wanted to say. Do you know that he did this and he did that? I mean, my biggest line, I guess, is going to be that the one thing I learned from Shecky was when he went to the Antarctic, he told me that, he was there and he said, I said, how were the penguins? And he said, there's nothing worse than having 1,000 penguins all shitting at the same time. And I said, it gives a whole new meaning to those David Attenborough documentaries. I can never look at one of these penguin movies and go, oh, they're so cute. All I can think of is man, that shit must smell terrible.
Oh God, I hear that it does.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't call them fowls for nothing.
Well, you know what it is? They eat fish. And that's why their shit smells so badly. But now you don't have just one little penguin. You've got thousands of little penguins. All right? And so I thought I'd mention that.
Well, what happens if you're supposed to give, what, 3 minutes?
Yeah.
What happens if you go to 5 minutes? Who's going to stop you? They're
Yeah.
going to kick you out?
Really.
I don't know. I think they have the Academy Award Orchestra there to play me off, you know.
You should just start crying and just cry for like 3 minutes and just can't compose yourself, and then your time's up.
Yeah, I guess. But, you know, I mean, it kind of got to me because I went, well, I said I'd say, you know, they asked me if I wanted to give a little speech, right? No, and yeah, sure I do. And then they told me 3 minutes, and I wanted to just say, well, forget it. I don't want to do it, but I don't want to seem like a bad guy. But, you know, I mean, how do I sum up 45 years in 3 minutes? It's impossible. It's just impossible. So I thought I would introduce my friend Steve Weiner, who 45 years ago introduced me to Shecky. And that if he hadn't introduced me to Shecky, I would have never known him. And if he hadn't gotten Shecky a job at the Letterman show, most of the people in that audience would have not known who Shecky was.
Who he was.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I think is amazing that all that happened because one person,
Yeah, that's weird.
you know, was.
That's common.
Yeah. Yeah. And he knew.
And didn't you sell one of those guys who worked there, Alex?
What?
Cable. You told that story you were selling when you were working in New York before they worked on the show.
Bob Morton, who was the
Yeah, I know who that. Yeah, so you actually they were. Yeah, that's even weird that you had interaction with somebody who wasn't even.
Well, for the audience who hasn't heard it already, Bob Morton, was the producer of the Letterman show at one time. Morty sold me my first cable in New York City.
Alex, they come door to door.
They went door to door. Would you like to have cable?
That's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
We didn't have the original box, though. I wonder what it looked
Or
like.
I may have already had it. I can't remember. But he told me years later, he says, you know, we met once before. And I said, where? And he says, I and Stu Smiley, who wound up being the head of comedy over at Showtime, I and Stu Smiley were going door to door selling cable. And you were one of the people whose door we knocked on, you know? So I thought that was, you know, that was terrific, you know. But anyway, so I'm just trying to, so I've kind of just settled on those various things. And then I have a big closing that I do, usually at this kind of a memorial, and in which I ask the audience, I mean, I can say it to you because they're not listening, you know, and even if they are, then they won't be surprised by it. But I always say that at the end of it, I said, it's an old show business tradition, and there's nothing better than this for a person who has been in one way or another in show business. So I'd like everybody to stand up and give Shecky a big standing ovation. Applaud. And I don't think anybody'd be bothered by that. You know, I think they'll all do it. And
But Tony will be there. Now he's heard it.
Tony's not going to be there.
No, I'm not there.
As
What?
close of friends. Never mind. It's not my
Yeah,
business.
don't go there.
Okay. Sorry.
You know, no. I mean, I would love to see Tony there, but
Oh yeah,
Tony was never.
I know.
Tony was never invited.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
Well, you know, I think that in his last years he knew you quite well.
Oh yeah,
and you knew
No,
him quite
I'm being
well.
honest. I said goodbye to him. I don't know if I told you, Alex. I said good the last time I went to visit him. I gave him a hug, and and I just said, you're a really great friend. And I have to thank Alex. I did say that you introduced me to him. I never became friends with him.
Yeah, yeah.
So I gotta say, I sent you an email. I don't know if you messaged it. I sent it to something to say I told you thank you.
But you know, I mean, it's the whole thing is being put together by a group of people who probably don't even know you exist.
Oh yeah, they don't know who I am.
Yeah,
Alex.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the case in a lot of stuff. We had a funeral just last week from somebody at work, and she just moved down to LA where her 2 kids were, and then she passed away, and then they wanted to do the funeral down there where nobody was, and she worked for me for 20 years, you know, up here. they finally got some common sense and they brought her body up here and they had the funeral. Because it's like all her friends and everybody were up here, but people who were running it didn't know anything, you know. So they finally got the word out to some of us because none of her workers were there, and she worked almost 20 years for me. So
Yeah. Yeah, but it's you know, and also my relationship to Shecky is different than the relationship of most of the people in that audience. Some of them are people who work at Letterman. In fact, probably a great majority of them are going to be people who worked at Letterman. There's going to be his family, who I've only met one member of his family, his niece. I've never met his brother, even though I've heard a lot about his brother, but I've never met his brother.
He told me a couple of stories that were funny.
What?
About I don't know if he told you this one. It was like, I guess it was during the Vietnam War where they had they had a, what did they have those things in the parks? They must have had like a protest, and by his house there's a park there. I forgot the name of the park.
Yeah.
And Shecky said he got up one morning, so when he went downstairs, somebody was laying on the couch. I guess he was a hippie, Alex.
Really?
So
I never heard that story.
Shecky says, "What did your mother say?" She said, "My mother was like, who is this?" She says, "I don't know." He said, "I went back to the room and went to sleep." And I guess Mike brought somebody back from the protest to sleep it off, I guess.
Yeah.
And then he left. He goes.
But anyway, so I mean,
I was laughing.
I wouldn't mind meeting his brother because I never did meet his brother, and I heard about him a lot about him, and he's probably knows who I am. But it's a lot of Letterman people. Some of his movie people, you know, he traveled in those crowds, and then there were people like myself who were just his friend. That was it. You know, there was no reason for our association other than we were friends. You know, I wasn't one of his film friends. I wasn't one of his family. I wasn't one of the Letterman people. What other? Oh yeah, he also had his cruise buddies. He used to love going on cruises. So he had this whole subset of people he knew from cruises. I knew none of them, you know, and probably none of them knew about me unless he talked about me. You know,
he talked about you a lot when we were he used to tell me funny stories, like when you're on the radio, and stuff. He told me how he met you. I said, but the birthday thing. I said, get at it. He said, yeah, I didn't think he was going to come.
No, I was a birthday present for him.
Yeah, he said I was totally shocked that I saw him.
Well, that's the story I'm going to tell. Is that I started out by being his birthday present, which is the cheapest gift giving I've ever heard of in my life.
I couldn't believe he walked in. There's no way.
I'm trying all the material out on you guys now.
They don't like that story, Alex. That's nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a great story. You know.
Yeah.
Yes, Jeff.
I used to get a couple of things from him, and they were always very interesting. But you know, the one thing I always remember about him is he would go on trips on a ship, and he did two things. He always had a double room that he would rent for both places.
No, he would take a double. Is what he would take. So he'd have a big room. That's how you see. That's where he would spend his money.
Yeah.
You know.
And the other thing is, he never got off the boat.
Well, he often said to me, "Hey, if you want to come on a cruise with me, come on." He says, "I take a room for two." He says, "I may as well you could come along." And I didn't do it for two reasons. Number one, Marjorie's always saying, "Let's go on vacation," and we never go on vacation. So if I did it, she'd go, "Oh well, you can go on vacation with him."
You in trouble, Alex?
And the other reason is that the idea of cruises, for the most part, do not make me feel comfortable.
That's like my mom and dad used to say, Alex. I feel like, what happens if they feel like I'm stuck on the boat, she would say. She would be afraid.
Now, we're thinking of doing some cruises, but we're thinking of doing these these long boats, the ones that they only have maybe like 50 people on them.
Okay,
I don't want one with 5,000 people on them.
That's a lot, yeah.
I heard about this guy. There was a cruise, I can't remember which company, and the guy fell off the boat.
No.
And they weren't able to retrieve him or find him.
Yeah.
And I'm going, how did you even know he was missing?
I was going to say, how do you know we were down one?
5,000 people on the goddamn ship, and you're saying, hey, guy fell overboard. Well, so what? It's just, what's the...
Get you on the way back.
What percentage of the people is that,
Exactly.
But
I don't keep track of every person on the boat. I've been on a cruise with 5,000 people on it. They knew where everybody was.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Alex, if you go on a cruise over here on the West Coast, can you please let us know?
Why?
Because I know you're talking about doing Alaska or something like that. I'd love to go.
You'd love to go to
Oh, look at that,
Alaska?
Brian.
That would be
Yeah,
nice.
I would probably sign up for that.
Yeah, because I tried to have the family go to Alaska, and they're like, "What are we gonna do? Just stare at glaciers?" And I'm like, "Yes." So
You say that like that's not exciting.
I heard I had the old engineer I worked for, and he said that he was in the Marines and or at the Navy. He's been all over the world. He said that Alaska was the most beautiful.
I've been one of the places we've been thinking about is Iceland. Iceland's supposed to be incredible, but it costs a fortune. I mean, if you want to go for like 8 days and really see like the real stuff, it's about $15,000 a person
Wow.
on a cruise.
Yeah, don't call me for that one.
No, I
Yeah,
won't call
don't
you
call
for
me
that
for
one.
that one either.
No, but I've often heard that Alaska cruise is one of the best you can possibly take.
Yeah, I've had several people tell me that.
Yeah, they come out of San Francisco, and then it goes up to like Glacier Bay, and then hits like 4 different stops all the way down. Yeah, so it's really nice.
Yeah.
Or Seattle. Sorry, it goes out of
Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they big ships or small ships?
These are the big ones. Yeah,
These are the big ones.
but I'm sure they have other ones. But that's
Well, no,
definitely
that's
a Seattle thing.
You know, I think we could survive that. But anyway, so I never went on one because the idea of cruise, just being stuck on a boat. You know, let's say I'm stuck on the boat now, and I don't mind being stuck on it with Shecky because he's my friend, and we can just talk for hours at a time if he wants to talk. There are other times Shecky just doesn't want to talk, right? But I could have done that. But the idea of just being on the ship with all those other people,
It's a lot of
you know.
Drink.
I want to hide
Just
that.
drink. You don't care.
Well,
Great tickets. Yes, that's good.
but you know,
Great package.
I could have always done it, and I never did it, you know. So you know, but he's gone. What the hell, you know? It's been
Yeah, on a ship all week with Tony.
Yeah, we won't invite Tony.
Room and
along.
say, "Don't."
We won't invite Tony along. Charlie can come. you
Yeah,
know.
Charlie.
And Jeff would
Ron,
be nice
wake
to have
up, I'm
Jeff.
going to
Be
breakfast.
nice
You
to
gotta
have
see it.
Jeff on that cruise. And- yeah.
So
I don't know if our good friend Alan there is even interested.
Oh, I'd go on a cruise,
Okay.
especially you could maybe get a radio station and let you talk on the radio station on the cruise.
No, I would just do my show from the cruise.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'd go.
But
I've been on a couple cruises; they're fun.
yeah, but well, I know it would be. We could just get everybody together and go on a cruise.
That would be fun.
Sure.
Of course, I have to approve it. I have to approve it through Marjorie. We'll go.
Oh,
Well, I'm not going if Tony's going. Okay.
Well, I don't blame
I
her.
don't even know I'm there. Alex, wake up! You got to see the waffles I got down there. I'm gonna kill them. Check, he's right. Everybody throw them overboard.
You be thrown overboard.
Yeah, with the sharks. I said sharks. Go find out.
Yeah.
Alaska. Oh,
Yeah. But I mean, it's interesting. It's So I want to do some traveling. It's time for me to do it. What do I do with this? Well, we'll do Gabnet when I'm not traveling. And if there's
Take photos because you like taking the photos and the videos too when you leave the country. That would be nice.
yeah, I don't know if I have the strength to do the videos anymore. That takes
You never
that
know.
takes. You know what it does though? It has spoiled many a vacation for me. I mean, I have a beautiful documentary of my trip to China. Just go online, look up China, Alex Bennett. You've probably seen it, right, Charlie?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen some of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the whole thing.
Yeah, but things about an hour and 10 minutes, and it's terrific. But that's the most I saw of China because I didn't see China. I saw it through a viewfinder, and so sometimes you just want to put the camera down and just say to hell with it. How many of these things do I want? I want to have a memory of going to like Paris or someplace like that, and then the only memory I have is that I had a camera to my eye. So
yeah.
Plus-
Go and enjoy it.
yeah. Plus, it's a question of the cameras you're going to use and so on and so forth. Because I've found that what you need to shoot, you can shoot with an iPhone. That's it. You know, you'll have the best looking pictures you've ever seen in your life. You know, so.
Yeah, I just did. We went to Santa Maria for the big car show down there, and I did a lot of filming. Usually I have my GoPro. I have my GoPro, but I end up trying my iPhone this time. And I have these cars that are coming through, and I can zoom all the way up, and they're still crystal clear. They're really nice.
The iPhone is, I think, of all the cameras I have, the best one for video so far. I just bought this one, and I haven't decided whether it's good enough or not. It has a certain, it doesn't do a stabilization as well as I would like it to. This is a Sony camera, and you know, it's good. It'll be terrific at some point if I want to use it, but the kind of camera I'd really like to use is a bit on the heavy side, you know. And I don't know if I want to just go. I just rather go around Europe, and if I see something that I want to shoot video of, I'll just take out the camera, you know, the iPhone, and do it, or take out the GoPro. I can put all these things in my pockets, you know.
Yep.
So, but so anyway, that's
Pam
yeah.
went
Yes,
to
Joe.
Paris.
Huh?
Pam went to Paris today.
When did she go to Paris?
Today.
Oh, today?
Today.
And she left you home.
That's right. I decided not to go.
Why did you decide not to go?
I don't know. I didn't feel it. Well, she's going to see some art stuff that's in Denmark or something.
And you're not interested.
It was kind of boring for me. But the other part is being on an airplane and having to keep your mask on there and all that.
I don't think they have you wear masks all the time now anymore. Do
Well,
they,
it
Charlie?
makes-
But why wouldn't you at our age?
I know, but Charlie, do they have you wear masks now on planes?
I haven't been on a plane.
No, but I'm asking you because you usually keep up with this kind of stuff.
You don't have to.
I don't know.
You don't have
Yeah, I
to.
don't think you have to, but
Yeah.
you may want to.
I'll tell you why I don't want to travel on a plane. Because it's a pain in the ass. You know, when I was younger, when I was a young man, and I go on an airplane flight. To begin with, you get on a plane, everybody was dressed up.
Oh,
You know, they were all wearing ties and shirts. You know, women were wearing nice frocks and so on. And if you were my age, you kind of wore a nice little jacket, and you know, it was fancy schmancy, right? No more. You know, I mean, do you ever see anybody wearing a suit on a plane trip?
No.
Kids go to schools in their pajamas.
Do they really?
Yes, they do. They go to school in their pajamas.
Oh, I wish I was in school again.
But they wear sneakers, right?
Yes, and a
They have
jacket.
sneakers.
But they wear yes, pajamas to school.
Really?
Yes, yes.
Well, I mean, you know, it's fine with me, but all I'm saying is that when I used to fly on airplanes, you know, they gave you a nice little dinner. It was pretty good. It wasn't bad. You know, it was small, but it was good. And you had nice meals and things like that. And oh, hey, would you like us to fill that up with a little more champagne? You mean here in coach? Yes, of course, here in coach. You're flying United, you know. And they just tried to pamper you and everything. Now it's like, you want to use the bathroom? Well, I'll let you know when it's available. Yeah, I mean, it's horrible. Traveling is horrible, and then going through TSA and all that crap. You know, so it's taken all the pleasure out of that. So if I am going to go through that, I've got to go somewhere where I'm going to spend like 2 weeks. You know, so that I only have to do that twice in that period of time. But I don't want a trip where I'm traveling a lot on airplanes from one place to another every 5 days or something, because, God, I spend half the time at airports going through TSA.
That's what's nice about a cruise.
Yeah.
You get on the cruise, you unpack, you get off, but you leave your luggage there and you do things during the day.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and then you go back on the ship and they move to the next port.
Well, that's what I've heard from people, you know, and that's what they like about it. You know, but Shecky used to just like to sit out. He had you always get one with a deck, a little porch or balcony or whatever, and sit out in the balcony and read a book, have a cocktail, you know. enjoy himself, and that to me is fine.
Yeah, that's what he always told me.
But then I thought to myself, well, gee, but if you're taking a cruise, it stops places. Don't you want to go see those places? And he said, I've already taken those cruises before. I just let everybody else go, and I stay on the boat.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that stay on the boats.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm old enough where I'm probably going to stay on the boat and just look out the window and go, ooh, nice ice flow. Things like that. But I'm not going to Antarctica. I am not going to Antarctica because I don't want to smell penguin shit.
You could probably go to the New York Zoo and they probably have penguins there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we do. We do have it. We do.
At the San Antonio Zoo.
Oh, we have a zoo. Yeah. We have a zoo right here in Central Park. Maybe 20, 30 blocks from me is the Central Park Zoo.
They have geese, and they have that are going to Canada. I heard you little 5 minutes.
Well, I took a great shot of those geese.
Yes.
All just traveling like mama, and then 5 little ducklings, and then daddy on the end. And they're just floating along, and then they all get out of the water, and daddy is... I noticed daddy in the back was doing the... pushing them on by going with his head like this, But I love that shot.
I wonder if the geese complain about bags under their eyes, too. I thought it was funny that you spent so much time on that. I don't think you have that much bags under your eyes.
Well, that's only because of the lights.
Okay, well, whatever it is, I don't know, but that's how I see
Also,
you.
all the makeup I slather on myself before doing this show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's a question of traveling. I like to do some traveling, And if I had 1 year to live, well, how would I spend that 1 year? Complaining that I was aching a lot.
I thought you were going to say complaining that you only have 1 more year to live.
Yeah. Well, I've had a lot of people I've known have only had a short time to live. Ronnie, my ex-wife.
Yeah.
And then there was something really fast like Shecky, which I never expected. Just amazed me. I guess I wasn't paying enough attention, but I was talking to his other best friend, this woman, and she said she didn't know it was as bad as it was. So, and she
couldn't tell from the show.
No, you couldn't tell from the show. That's right. And what's his name? Don Giller, who calls the show, who does all the Letterman videos, most of the Letterman videos that you've seen for years on YouTube. He said he has, all the times that Shecky did those shows with me, those little, what do you call it? What do we call the shows? The pop-ups.
Pop-up.
And he is going to condense all the times that Shecky and I talked with each other extensively on that show and put it on one reel. So I'll make sure that everybody that does that show somehow is going to have access to that when it's done. But
yeah, I need to sign a release, please.
Anyway, hey, listen, everybody. I'm playing the theme right now, which you can't hear for some reason. You can't figure. Nick, one of the mysteries of life. Before I die, that's what I want to do with my last year in life: is figure out why you can't hear the music.
For a year, you're going to try to figure that out.
Anyway, thanks to Charlie. I appreciate it, Charlie. Thanks to Brian. Thank you, Brian. Thanks to Albert, by the way, for talking to us earlier. Also, thanks to our good friend Alan and Jeff. Great talking to you. And Tony, always a pleasure talking to you. Everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye back at you. Okay, there they go, folks. That's our citizen panel for tonight. We'll be here again tomorrow night. Jack Bishop is next with The Intersection. He'll be taking your calls at Gabnet Live, okay? Gabnet Live. In the meantime, I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Good night, everybody.